Welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made this cow door hanger sign. I made this one before so I can use it as my template, but I can show you guys how I made the template to begin with. So I bought this veneer type of plywood from Lowe's for another project, and this is some that I have left over, so I'm going to use that. It's probably about a 1/4 inch thick. But to get started, we're going to take a big old piece of paper. Mine wasn't big enough, so I had to tape, an extra piece on. Okay, and once you get the paper the size that you want, you're going to fold it in half so that we can draw on half of the paper and then cut it out and open it back up, and it's going to be a full face. Now I find me a picture on Google that I want to use as a guide so I can draw it on this piece of paper. And remember, we're only drawing half of the face, so when we cut it out, we'll have a full face. I decided to draw it with permanent marker so you guys could actually see it better. Now I'm going to cut it out. And I open it up, and I see that I didn't really like the size of the cheeks area very well, so I decided to trim them up just a tad. Then you will just lay that template down on the board and trace it out. But since I already have my template, I'm just going to use the one that I already have. So I'm tracing this onto the wood, and then I will lay some tape down to try to keep it from like having a bunch of splinters when I cut it out. I've never tried this method before, but I've seen it, so I thought I would give it a try. Once I do that, I will retrace the cow face onto the wood again, and then I will cut it out with a jigsaw. I'm going to try to cut it here on my table without actually cutting my table, but when using power tools, please be careful because they can and will cut you if you're not. Okay, now I'm going to peel this tape off. Let's see. It did actually help reduce a lot of the splinters because it looked better than that little piece that I tried to cut out without the tape. So that is a good method to use. So this is what it looks like before sanding. Now let's get started on sanding. I'm using a 80 grit sandpaper to sand the edges to get rid of any of the splinters and imperfections that may have, caused by the jigsaw, because I'm not perfect. Okay, now it's time to start painting, so I lay this down so I don't get no paint on my table. And I'm just using some indoor black house paint that I got from Walmart, a big old gallon. I use it for other projects, so I figured I would use it for this. I started to blow dry it, but I had to stop to make dinner, so this is the next day, and it's fully dry overnight. So I just started drawing me some guidelines to know where I'm going to paint the white at. So then I got this white paint from the Dollar General. It was $3.50. And I'm just going to paint one coat because I'm going to sand it down and give it that rustic, look. So there's no point of adding 2 coats. So then I just used the hair dryer to give it a good dry before I started sanding. I go ahead and plug up the glue gun so it can be getting hot while I do my sanding. I just start sanding to my liking, adding as much distressed look as I want. So I have this cream lace ribbon and this yellow ribbon, and I'm going to make a bow, but I don't end up using it. So I use this jute and some beads that I had previously stained. But to stain them, you can just take these beads on a rope that you get from the Dollar Tree. That's $1.25. You cut them off the string and put them in a baggie. And you can use stain, or you can use some watered down brown craft paint, and you just mush it around in the bag, and then you just pat them dry or let them dry overnight. Okay, here is some flowers that I'm going to use. I have 3 different types. There's some like little white cream color ones, some yellow and some greenery on with them. And then I got some sunflowers that I'm going to use. I've got 2 different shades, so I'm going to see which shade I like best. I think I like the darker ones a lot better. So let's set these to the side and get started. Okay, now I'm going to take the jute and wrap it around my fingers several times loosely until I get the thickness I like to make myself a little tassel. And then I will cut the other end to, split the circle into halves. And then I'll take some extra jute and wrap it around the top part a little bit just to cover up the knot and add a little hot glue so it holds it down to give it that finished look. And then I'm going to add my beads to the long part of the string that's still attached. And I end up adding too many, so later on I will take some off. But then at the end of it, I will add a knot so they don't slide off. Then I'll set this to the side once I get that, finished. Then I forgot that I had to add 2 drill holes at the top of the head so we can, attach a string to hang it with. So I just grabbed I think it was a 3/16 drill bit and drilled 2 holes at the top of the head. Then I just cleaned up the hose a little bit with some sandpaper to, get the spurs away. And I made the bow, but I don't end up using it like I said, but I figured I would leave this clip in just in case you wanted to make a bow. Now I'm going to take the jute and I want to stretch it out pretty far, doing about 3 strands and make it longer than what I actually need because I'm going to tie knots in it all the way down, and it gives it that like farmhouse barbed wire type of look. Leaving some loose strings at the end so it's long enough that I can stick it through the hose on the head and tie knots into it so it's attached to the cow head. Now that I got that done, let's start adding some floral to it. And I rearranged this several different times trying to figure out which look I like best. But I don't glue it down until I have my final look that I'm satisfied with. Now I'm going to start gluing everything down. Well, that's it. That's the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, give it a like, a comment, and please subscribe. I would love to have you join my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye!